Welcome back, family, to another edition of the Family Bloodline Platinum Guest Series. Yes. And today we have, as always, another special guest with us. And the information that the guest is about to share is bar none, is ridiculously important, and the listeners should absolutely lean in to what's about to be shared, said, and pay attention to understand how it's going to affect not only them but their children moving forward. So I want to start off with a lead in, like I expressed before, and essentially just read your Meet Lyndsey off of your URL. And I want to do this just to begin to set the scene, uh, so that people can get a feel of who you are.
Mhm.
So, a little bit of background. Lieutenant Colonel Lyndsey L. Thompson was born in Wilson, North Carolina, but raised in Radcliffe, Kentucky. She graduated from Fort Knox High School and received her Bachelor of Arts and Active Duty Army Commission from Western Kentucky University in Bowling Green, Kentucky. She later received her Master's of Business Administration from the University of Louisville, Kentucky. Due to the military, Lyndsey has lived in numerous places across the country and the world, to include New York, Georgia, Florida, and Japan, to name a few. She has two combat deployments. The first, to Afghanistan, was with the 10th General Support Aviation Battalion, 10th Mountain Division, as the Battalion Assistant S2, which, for those who don't speak military, is the Intel branch or Intel section, intelligence section. And that was in 2007. She refers to this experience in her writings and a number of her speeches. This was followed by a second deployment to Iraq. And so, just again, to give a little bit of background before we jump to you, uh, Ms. Thompson is an active duty military member and a CEO, and we'll ask what you're the CEO, the name of your company, but a CEO, an author, and we'll explore your book momentarily, and a speaker as well, which is phenomenal, which is absolutely phenomenal. So with those things being said, let's lean into you so we can learn a little bit more about you as we go. So please tell us a little more about you that your introduction doesn't actually say.
Well, where do I start? The introduction pretty much covers the rudimentary aspect of my life, but it doesn't so much cover why I do what I do and why I'm trying to transition into the Gen Z speaking and operating world after the military. So I never had any children of my own. However, I do have 11 godchildren. So all of them ranging between the age of 15 and 24 now. So all of them are inside of that Gen Z range, right? And I've always believed that the Lord saw fit to not allow me to be a parent because he wanted me to be able to pour into so many of the other children in my life. And that is what I'm hoping I am able to continue to do after the military, which is why I wrote the book. They are definitely the inspiration for that, looking out at the world and the way the job market is changing. And the job market seems like such a small aspect of the world, but whether we like it or not, money in many ways does make the world go round. It takes it to, we got to eat, we got to have shelter, and this is the things that are necessary to be able to do that. So I wanted to make sure that as my kids grew up and transitioned into the world, that they'd have the tools that were necessary to continue to compete and compete from the forefront, as they go out into the world looking for those jobs and looking for that manner in which to sustain themselves. So I'm a hard charger for my kids. That's really what it all boils down to. That's who I am.
So 11, how did you come down? How did that happen? What was the process and the progress that led up to 11?
Boy, look,
That's a lot.
let's start with the first few. So the first few, their mothers were smart. Okay, I've known the mothers of the first few since I was in high school.
Oh wow.
And when I joined ROTC in college, a few of them forward thinkers, Lyndsey's gonna have a guaranteed paycheck for the next couple of
Mm,
years.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
let's
yeah.
go ahead and make sure we get on board with that one. Lyndsey's gonna be the good aunt with the good birthday gifts and whatnot for the next couple of
Got
years.
it.
So
Yeah,
let's rock with Lyndsey.
for sure.
The others were just their friendships that developed into family. So their kids became my kids, and they just kind of I kept collecting them like baseball cards. So
Yeah.
so I've and the more I moved around, I'm one of those individuals where and I say it in my book, I'm a self-professed introvert. So when I move from place to place, I don't tend to make a lot of friends. I make one or two really good ones, and then they become family, and their family becomes family. So I take on their children as if they were my own. I'm Auntie Lyndsey to a number of kids out there. But again, it is a passion of mine as well. I love talking to kids. I love watching their eyes light up when something connects. Um, I think I have also that personality trait where I am the protector. I'm also the big sister. I have a younger brother, and it was always my goal to make sure that everything in front of him was laid out. He went to the same high school I went to initially before going to John. He graduated from the same college I graduated from. I remember when my brother was online, getting phone calls from my Eastern Star sisters that were still at Western. It was like, girl, your brother's out here looking like he about to cry. We don't know what's wrong with him. I'm sitting here thinking to myself, yeah, if you only knew what was wrong with him. But
Yeah.
it's it's a protective aspect of me, and for whatever reason, the younger generation is what's catching it all right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm on a level also, just throwing that out there. Uh, I've been
Okay.
traveling, yeah, been a traveling man for a while now.
All
S-
right.
Yeah. So you also, I've noticed something in one of your contact uh, descriptions with 1908, I believe it said.
I am. I am also a member of the sorority Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated.
Okay.
So yes, I'm a legacy. So my mother is an AKA, my brother is an Alpha. So yeah, we're holding the D9 down.
I dig it. I dig it. That's great. That's great. I have a niece. I think I said this before. I have a niece that is part of AKA out in
Mhm.
Illinois. So shout out to you, Mackenzie. So let's jump into a little bit further. You how many siblings do you have?
Just the one, my younger
Okay.
brother, Desmond.
All right. And I want to jump into the military aspect of you. And the reason why
Mhm.
is I listened to the podcast that was describing your book, right? Phenomenal, by the way. And
Thank
we'll look
you.
at that also. What have been or describe let me start here. Describe your military journey thus far and where you are now and what you hope to accomplish.
Um, I don't think that there's anything legitimately special about my particular journey other than the fact that um I was never a position chaser, chasing rank or anything like that. Which for the first couple of years as an army officer, it's not really a big deal. Like is you go through or second lieutenant, first lieutenant, captain, so forth. It's pretty much just progressive. Time and rank, you'll get promoted to the next. After that, a lot of people become very strategic, trying to pick and point out those key positions that are going to set you up for the next rank. I have always been an avid believer that I want to do what I enjoy.
Yeah.
So if I don't enjoy the position or I don't believe I'm going to enjoy the position, I'm not seeking that position. So if I make the rank, I make the rank. If I don't make the rank, I don't make the rank. But you will never say that I did not do my job to the best of my abilities because I know I enjoyed what I was doing. So I transitioned to a lot of different locations based upon the fact that I thought I was going to like it there. I went to Savannah because I was like, this is Savannah, Georgia. I don't know what job I'm going to get when I get there, but I'm going to Savannah. So there you have it. Um, Same deal when, actually Japan was an accident. Japan was completely an accident. I had come back from both Afghanistan and Iraq, and I'd been to Savannah. I went to school. I was like, I don't want to leave the country anymore if I have to carry a weapon. Like I don't I want to go overseas somewhere, but I do not want to carry a weapon. Well, in my mind frame, I'm thinking Europe. my orders said Japan. I was like, that is not what I meant. Like
That is not Europe at
that
all.
was not what I was talking about. But Lord, your will be done. So went to Japan, had an amazing time. I was ready to come home when it was time to come home,
Yeah.
but had an amazing time. But again, my journey, I wasn't out seeking any different positions in order to seek rank and so forth. I was out to have a good time and to learn as much as I possibly could. Um, and as long as I continue to enjoy my job, I'll continue to move forward. I'm in a position now that I could have never dreamed of.
Mm.
I am the battalion commander for the Mission Support Battalion underneath Recruiting Command. We are basically the tactical arm for all of the marketing that's done in the Army. So I spend 80% of my time traveling to colleges and high schools and bowl games and all of those types of things with my assets. Those, I don't know how many people have seen it, but those big 18 wheelers that you'll see going down the interstate with "Be All You Can Be" written on the side of them, those are mine, right? I've got a team of elite athletes. I've got a warrior fitness team, which are basically CrossFitters. These are soldiers that get paid to come and do CrossFit every day. I've got an esports team in my organization. These are soldiers who get paid to come to work and play video games all day long and to compete and be the best in the world. Like, you can't tell me my job isn't amazing. Like, I didn't even know that this existed. And the
Yeah.
Lord handed it to me. So I'm just like, you know what? As long as I'm having a good time, I'm gonna keep it pushing. But I feel like this is probably as good as it's gonna get. So
Mm.
now I'm starting that transition into the retirement phase, the retirement mode. Because I'm just like, it just don't get no better than this. Y'all gonna want me to go back out here and do something
Yeah.
concerning. I was like, I'm good. I'm good. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm good. So
They're
so
setting
yeah,
you up.
now I'm starting to focus towards the passion versus just the career.
Okay. Good. Good. So how long have you been in?
A little over 21 years.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, thank
Mhm.
you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I would like to say that when you decide to hang your boots up and throw your pistols in the water, well, it's good on this side of life. It's good on this
I
side of life.
can't wait. I
Hey,
can't wait.
come join us. We waiting. We waiting.
I cannot wait.
It's wonderful, especially with the vision that you have for the
Mhm.
future, right? So I want to talk a little bit about your work, your
Mhm.
passion. I don't want to call it work because clearly this is a passion that you have. And I could tell that when you were talking to my daughters at the event that I met you and your mother at. Um, you talked a little bit about how you jumped into it, but
Mhm.
talk about what the thing that attracted you to it, the thing that kept you in it, and
Mhm.
where you want it to go as you grow it.
And we're talking about the business, right? The book and all of that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um, so the thing that attracted me to it, uh, like I said, concern for the future of my kids, concern for the future of my nephew who is 10 years old now and will be there's a whole another 10 years of changes to come before he is going to go out into this world. But watching what AI is doing right now in the economy and the way things are changing, um it's funny because I remember hearing my parents and my grandparents say, back in my
Mhm.
day, right? And now I find myself going, back in the day,
Right.
you had to pay somebody to do this,
Yeah.
or, back in the day, this was an entry level position that I didn't have to have experience to get. Like, I graduated from high school and then I went straight into this job, and this was the job that I utilized in order to get experience and to start my climb up the corporate ladder. And that's changing now. um AI is starting to take away a lot of those entry level positions that we used to cut our teeth on.
Mhm.
Um, they're saying that within the next 40 or so years, AI could, or excuse me, 4 years, so please get that right, 4 years, AI could ultimately replace approximately 40% of the
Wow.
entry level positions that our kids are or used to utilize to enter into the job market. to start their initial climb of that ladder. So now you've got 40% fewer entry level positions available for our kids. And the other 60% have now transitioned to a mind frame where they're requiring that these kids have 2 to 3 years of experience
Wow.
before they'll even hire them. Okay, so then you've got kids coming out of high school and college who are looking to go in, or who are looking to compete for this last 60% of jobs that are still available to them. And now, in order to compete, they also have to come with a portfolio of things that they've done before they even graduated.
Mm.
So it was scary as I was kind of seeing these things. And what I realized is a lot of the things that I've learned over the course of my 21 years in the military, although they don't directly align with the civilian world, they do directly align with the way things are changing. The concept of mentorship, right? Mentorship is something that is beaten very heavily in the military. Go out and find someone who's done what you're trying to do, somebody within your branch, someone within your field who can kind of help you navigate the positions that you should hold in order to continue to progress through the ranks, right? We make it a formalized process. Mentorship is a cheat code for success in any realm. Going out and finding someone who is currently doing what you want to do, going out and then finding someone who has already excelled in the spaces that you want to excel, and having a cup of coffee with these people,
Yeah.
asking them questions, asking them how they did what they did, their input, their advice, all of these things. And if they feel so inclined to truly invest in you, they have the ability to introduce you to people who will then open up doors for you that you didn't even know existed. They have the ability to show you which potholes to avoid, which courses to take, which ones are just complete waste of time, right? They're saying now that when it comes to the hiring market, 80% of jobs right now are coming through by way of people who know people. It's
Oh,
being
wow.
introduced to something. Resumes and all of that, they're great. But if they don't say the right thing and they don't come with someone behind them who basically does a handshake and says, I vouch for this person, you fall to the bottom of the rung. The other thing is leadership. Leadership is
Mhm.
something that the military has instilled in us since the day we joined. Leadership is the trust aspect of employment. Leadership shows the people that you're working for, those possible employers, that they can trust that you can communicate. They can trust that you can lead. They can trust that you can actually navigate conflict. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for that maturity and that leadership already instilled. Again, our kids are not necessarily coming out of these schools with these types of courses and these types of experience to garner that trust in these possible employers. And then finally is the real world experience piece, and that's the proof. That is the proof positive that I can do what you're paying me to do, or what you're saying you're going to pay me to do. Um, they're not looking for trainees anymore. They're not
Mm.
hiring you to teach you. They're hiring you to execute. And they want proof positive that you can execute what they're hiring you to do. So, again, the last 60% of these entry level positions are looking for you to come with a portfolio that states, these are the things that I've done. Well, where do they go to get that experience if all the jobs that they would have utilized to get the experience now requires that they have experience to get the job?
Yeah.
Well, that's where we talk about in the book getting creative. Things like internships. Internships are the new gateway to an actual career. They're using internships as not as part of the hiring process now. So if you want to get in the door, an internship is no longer a luxury, it's almost a requirement, right? Other aspects and other manners in which to get this experience is side hustles, right? Utilizing your mentors and finding jobs, whether they be non-paid volunteer work or paid jobs during the summer, to start to build a portfolio in and around the concept that you would like to work in. So all of these things, spelling it out and packaging it, is what kind of drove me to put this book together. like when I started writing it, I actually started writing the book for something a lot different. I started writing the book for senior level staff sections because I was so irritated by my brigade staff. I was just like, y'all do not understand what the concept of graduate level staff works. So let me write this book and help you guys understand it. And then I was like, no, these are grown people. I'm not.
Yeah.
Let me focus on the future. So yeah, as I started writing, I was just like, no, there's another group here, a group that I care so much more about that I
Mm,
prefer to focus on. So that's kind of how the concept grew and what's kind of been keeping me going.
I love it. So speaking of your book, and this is your webpage, by the way,
Yes.
and that is I will push that up at the top for anyone who wants to navigate to the actual webpage. So talk to us a little bit about the book, the experiences that you shared, not just
Mhm.
that, but talk to us a little bit about the process of writing your book. Like you were just saying, the transition from, hey, I'm writing this for senior level staffers, but wait a minute, there's another audience that needs to be captured by this. And not just that, but hey, I got a nephew. This world is evolving faster than what we can actually keep pace with.
Right.
Let me put this out. Let me compile this. And how is it that you compiled it? What did you draw from in order to get the message out in your book?
Um, well, like I said, it was initially a it was a angry journal entry directed at my senior leadership staff initially. I was just like, you know what, y'all suck. So I'm gonna basically write this book to tell you how to do your job.
Yeah.
Um, but again, as I was kind of doing research to help to support the things that I knew naturally by way of my own experiences working for general officers and whatnot, that's when I started to kind of stumble upon some of the information in reference to the current job market and how it was going to start to impact not just, you know, the general employment rate, but the employment rate of the next generation coming into the job market, which happens to be Gen Z. So as I continued to kind of read, mission creep, like I started to refocus what I was, you know, honing in on and started to focus on a solution to something that was bigger than just my gripes and complaints. Um, they say that passion is not what you do for yourself, it's what you it's it's what you provide to others.
Mhm.
Finding your happiness and provision to other people. And I feel like this is my provision to the next generation and to society in general, whether we want to acknowledge it or not. At some point, this community is going to reside on the shoulders of Gen Z.
Yeah.
And if we do not set them up for success, then what?
Mm.
It's not, we will not be here forever. At some point, we are going to completely hand the reins over to them. And when that happens, they have to be prepared to take the reins. And right now, we're not doing them any justice. We're
I
not.
I
So
agree.
this was definitely just a carry on for, you know, the my attempts to set them up for success.
Yeah. I agree wholeheartedly with that. I do my best to
I think that I have lost you on mic again.
I got you. Okay, so continuing and moving forward, I've jumped again. This is on your webpage,
Mhm.
www.booklindsey.com, and this is an overview. What I'm showing now is an overview of your actual book, which again is fantastic. Mentor Me: A Quick Start Leadership and Career Guide,
Mhm.
and you have this space down here. What is this exactly? Is this getting? It says send my free guide. Free guide to what exactly?
So it is a quick start leadership guide. It's basically a very, very, very brief summary of the main concepts within the book and a little bit of elaboration on them. So again, kind of discussed it, mentorship, leadership development, and the actual requirement for real world experience and how to go about getting it. So that quick snapshot is kind of a quick bulletized, cheat sheet of some of the things that are in the book. And then, of course, the book itself will elaborate on that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I highly recommend for all the listeners to go to the webpage, look at the resource page. First off, order the book. Let me start there. Get the book. It's worth it. I'm going to get 4 copies. Actually, I'll probably get about 6 because I've got 2 nieces that I want to get this to also. Actually, it's going to be more than that. I got bonus babies. Okay, so
listen, keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to get some copies of this for sure. But I want to make sure I get it out because the information that you're putting out, and it's not just theory, right? And there's a clip that talks about a lot of people going through theories, and even you going through a theoretical portion of your career coming out of college and then going into the Army and then being hurled into a real world experience during a deployment, right? And so that's not just theory, but it's practical application.
Absolutely.
And the information that's shared is real, right? This is real information. So you were talking to us a bit about the movement of the book, the process of the book, and I want to highlight one of your quotes, right? This right here: leadership is a behavior and not a position. Where did that come from?
I'd love to say that I coined it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. You can find it in multiple versions all over the internet, and I can't remember the individual who initially stated it. It wasn't exactly like this, but a version of it. But the purpose behind it is I need these kids to understand that in order to get ready for something, you have to start preparing yourself before you're placed in the position, right? Leadership is something that you can execute and exude every single day in every aspect of your life, whether it is at home, in your interactions with your siblings, whether it is in school, taking part in and showing up for all of these different types of extracurricular activities, sports, drama, whatever the case may be. There is always an opportunity to exercise that leadership muscle, right? And they need to understand that they have to start doing it now. You have to start building that muscle memory now, learning as much as you possibly can about the concept of communication and how to communicate more efficiently and effectively, understanding that communication is not what's necessarily said, but it's what's understood by the individuals or individual that you're speaking to. You cannot be a leader if you cannot give direction, and direction that is understood and then executable. Understanding IQ as well as EQ, your emotional intelligence. That's going to help you in the methods of not just avoiding conflict, but directly being able to operate within and around conflict. Every day is not going to be a sunny day. And you have to understand how to work with individuals who may take you there. And because they will. All of these things, again, are expected characteristics of a very, very youthful generation. These are not necessarily things that we had to be as boned up on when we first went into the military or wherever else. We got the benefit of being able to kind of go through a couple cycles in our actual careers before they were expecting us to stand. I've never... She's just a second lieutenant. She's just a lieutenant. Don't worry about the lieutenant. Don't worry about the lieutenant. That was the excuse that we got for a very long time. You're just a lieutenant. They really didn't start taking you seriously until you made captain. And that was only because a captain could be a captain for 8 years. So you didn't know whether or not it was a young captain or this was a captain that was about to make major who's dang near at 10 years of service, right?
Right.
So, I mean, but these kids, they don't get that luxury. So they have to understand that leadership is a behavior, it's something that you have the ability to exude every single day. You do not have to wait until you're put into a position that basically states you're the captain, you're the leader, you're the one in charge. Be in charge no matter what arena you're operating in. People should always look to you and go like, you know what, I trust that person. I don't know
Mm,
what it is about him, but that's the one I'm gonna follow.
yeah, absolutely. What is your recommendation or advice when trying to seek out and find a mentor, understanding that you're looking for somebody who's already in the position that you want to see yourself? But what
Mhm.
other aspects of mentorship should a younger person or anybody for that matter uh, look into, kind of like checking the block, as it were,
Mhm.
to make sure that they're finding the right fit for them?
Um, One thing that you want to look for, and this is something that will take you at least one or two meetings with the person to truly evaluate, is their character. Are they in this for you? Right? Are they willing to help? Do they want to help? Um, do they spend the entire conversation talking about themselves and about the grandiose things that they've accomplished in life and never once, hand it over to you? Are they teachers? Are they somebody who's willing to invest in you? Right? Um, it's one thing to go out and want to talk to someone who has been successful, but that person not necessarily be as committed to seeing you progress as they were, or are they as they are just talking about their own progression, right? Um, so you have to kind of find the balance. They've been successful, but they also want to see you be successful. The other thing, and this is not necessarily what you're looking for in a mentor, but when you go out looking for a mentor, don't be creepy. don't, don't be creepy when you're going out looking for a mentor. Will you be my mentor? That is, don't do that,
Yeah,
right?
that is weird.
Um, go and do some research. Find someone who has, again, like I said, done something that you want to do. Look into one of their projects and be like, hey, I see you did X, Y, and Z. I'm actually interested in doing that as well. I was wondering if you might have a few minutes to talk about that and, kind of give me some ideas as to how I might be able to do something similar. Right. It's a lot of different ways that you can go about it, but don't be creepy.
Yeah. I might, I might have to put that on one of my other podcasts. Be- Whatever you do,
don't
don't be
don't
creepy.
don't be creepy. Don't be
Yeah,
creepy.
I've had the experience of uh, I worked on the general staff before in the G4, and I was doing a lot with a lot of people, a lot of different sections, and I did have that experience where the soldier was like, "Hey, Sunglass, you be my mentor?" And I was like, "What?"
Like, what does that even mean? Like, what do you want from me?
Like, being a mentor is a huge responsibility, first off,
It
and
is.
I like agreeing with you on a lot of different aspects. It's not a forced entry, as it were. It's a glide path that you take
Mhm.
because you're establishing a relationship with someone. And again, yeah, wanting to make sure that that person is doing well and being able to correct them when they're falling into pockets of error, and just being like, hey, listen, let's move forward together. This is where you made your mistake. I got it, but this is how you correct that, so on and so forth. But
Absolutely.
I was quite I what do you mean, can I
It's
be your?
and you know what? But I blame that on the army too,
I do
because
too.
again, the army, they made it such a regimented thing. They were just like, well, go out and find a mentor. Well,
Yeah,
what does that mean? Go out and find a mentor? Okay, fine. So I found somebody who outranks me. Hey, will you be my mentor? And the person that you're talking to is like, me?
yeah,
What you what the mentor doesn't even know what that means. Like, well,
exactly.
what do you want me to do?
Yeah, yeah,
So don't ask the question, will you be my mentor? Ask very specific questions. Hey, you did this. Can you tell me how you did it? Would you mind sitting down and kind of explaining it to me? I'm trying to do something very similar. Would you have a few minutes to sit down and at least tell me what you want from me?
yeah, yeah. There's an
So
expectation on both ends that has to be
absolutely.
expressed, that has to be communicated. Yeah, that
Absolutely.
regimented movement that the army has, even in a software product that's been pushed out there. You've got to go, you've got to identify the mentor,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to do check-ins with the mentor. Now that's on top of doing your quarterly counseling, yada yada
Yep.
yada. Like, come on,
Yep. Yep.
it's a
And
very
then
serious.
again, they never explain what the roles of both of those parties are. And the other thing that I discuss in the book is the role of the mentee. Like, in
Mm,
order to go and get yourself a good mentor, you have to be a good mentee as well. And what does that mean? That means coming to these meetings prepared to have the conversations. If your mentor is leading 100% of the conversation and you're just sitting there in absorb mode, you're not doing it right. You should
mm,
have some very specific questions when you go meet with this individual, and then be open to feedback. This is when your EQ comes into it. If you're one of those types of people that shut down when you're giving criticism because you think you either know it all or you just simply don't know how to take criticism, you're not a good mentee and you're not going to get anything out of this. You're really not. And then when they give you feedback, come back the next time prepared to give them feedback on the feedback they gave you. Did you execute what they suggested? They
mm.
want to hear that you did what they spent their time investing in you to tell you to do. And if it worked, great. Tell them that. If it didn't work, great. Tell them that, right? And they can help you kind of tailor that. But it's a two-way conversation, it's a two-way street. You don't get to just sit at the table and go, go. That's
Right.
not how this works.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I would surmise that you have a lot of experience in the mentor mentee ballpark with
A
11.
little bit, just a little bit. A little bit, but more so honestly, and well, now I think about it, probably in both realms, but I was probably the one making the mistake as a junior and doing exactly what that young soldier did to you.
Yeah.
Man, will you be my mentor? What does that even mean? I did it to a 3-star.
Oh goodness. Oh
I did it to it. I was a young captain, and there was this general that came out. It was an African American female. I was just so taken aback by her and this, that, and other. So I shot her a note. I was like, "Man, will you be my mentor?" This woman had never met me before.
yeah.
Like, and I could now that I'm more senior, I can kind of hear her thoughts. Bless her heart. That's what she
Right,
wanted to
right.
say. Bless her heart. Bless her heart. Just, it is what it is. But the mentorship that I do now, it is much more natural. So the soldiers that I mentor now, they don't even realize that that's the relationship that we have, because
Mm,
typically they'll just kind of, roll past my office or shoot me a message on Teams. Hey, ma'am, I was just wondering, you got a second? I just wanted to float something past you real quick. Cool. Ask the question. I'm definitely here to listen and give you any feedback. So it's not that dress right dress, rigid platform that the military had kind of established for us. It is a much more fluid relationship.
yeah, that's really, really important to say. Uh and explore. And like just like you just described, a lot of people, not just soldiers, but a lot of people experience mentorship just in passing with people that they come in contact with every day and don't really
Mhm.
realize that that's what's happening. And
Absolutely.
and then that just goes to the length and breadth of what mentorship can, should, and it is oftentimes on its surface. It's the quick ability to communicate, correct, redress, be a sounding board for somebody.
Hmm.
And that's from the mentor aspect. And then from the mentee aspect, also be vulnerable enough to ask someone for that assistance, for that critique, and that guidance as well.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
very important to say. Thank you for pointing that out. So let's talk about your speaking, at the speaking aspect of you. This,
Yes.
so have you been on summits, or have you engaged in any actual speaking platforms just as of yet?
So not outside of the military yet, right? So this is probably obviously doing, speaking engagements for different local community groups and things of that nature. But the military has been my sole focus. So because I'm still technically in the military, I don't have a lot of time to be out traveling and doing all that. But I am hoping that this is my journey towards getting to these larger platforms, right? um I'd like to do community workshops for kids. I'd like to do leadership workshops. I want to do small interactive career counseling groups to help kids more, not necessarily with one-on-one, because I really don't have the time for it right now, but sitting down as a group and discussing some of their concerns as they're getting ready to transition out, and then reviewing resumes and all of those types of things. Like, these are all the things that I want to do. But yeah, the speaking platform at this point has been more so military directed, just because of the nature of my current profession. But I'm hoping that over the course of the next, what is this, March? I hang up my boots in December. So come December, I want to hit the ground running, and I want to be able to go out and do, the high school commencements and all of those things. Speaking of which, this book is an amazing high school and college graduation gift. We're getting ready to go into the graduation season. So for those who are still out there figuring out what they're going to get their graduate for graduation, definitely a spot on target, spot on gift. But yeah, I'm hoping to step that up after, I kind of release myself from the military reins.
Yeah, and so December can't come fast enough.
Cannot.
Right.
Senioritis is kicking in, boy.
I get it. It's a thing. It's a thing. And when you get there, I'm glad that you're leaning in on what you want to do now. And I try and take my time to say this whenever I have the opportunity for service members who are on the cusp of exiting, right? Doing your final exodus from your military mission. It's worth stepping into the things that you want to do now.
Right.
Right. If you see yourself as an accountant and you've already got your degree, well, then you need to start practicing that craft now. And if you don't have your degree, position yourself to receive and get your degree, right? Whatever you're going to do, wherever you see yourself in the future, you should start doing it at the very least, 2 years before you exit.
Absolutely. And the crazy thing about it is the book was really an afterthought, right? So like I said, it started off as a basically a temper tantrum. But then, crazy enough, so my father went to one of the Classic games down in Georgia, I believe. And while he was there, he ran into a retired lieutenant colonel. And my father, Big T, the man knows everybody. He ain't never met a stranger, right?
Yeah.
Not even in Georgia. So he's outside and he sees this guy's car, and he comes back into the hotel lobby. He was like, "Hey, whose car is this? It's a really nice car." And the retired lieutenant colonel said, "It's mine." So they're chopping it up in the hotel lobby. And turns out the guy's father had been stationed up here at Fort Knox while my dad was still active duty. So my dad knew the dude's father.
Wow.
So they're talking, and he's telling, he's telling the guy, my dad's telling the guy that, his daughter's getting ready to retire, lieutenant colonel. And dude's like, "Oh, I'm a retired lieutenant colonel, blah, 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 blah." He's telling him what I wanted to do. He was just like, "Well, she wants to go into public speaking. She wants to focus on, Gen Z and blah, blah, blah. And she's trying to write a book." This dude was like, "Hey, I've got the perfect person for her." So he hands me the card of a retired Air Force Master Chief who owns his own publishing company. So fast forward, literally 2-3 weeks later, I hit up Lieutenant Colonel Retired Ship. "Hey, sir, thanks so much for the business card. Dad just got back, gave it to me. Appreciate you. Now I am now forever on his what do you call verse of the day, Bible verse of the day text message thread." But I get a hold of retired Master Chief Cunningham, Dr. Cunningham, and Dr. Cunningham is the one that walked me through this entire process. Because I'd never published a book before. I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know any of this stuff. So it's just by way God's grace and laying everything out. But Dr. Ship, Lieutenant Colonel retired, became a mentor. Dr. Cunningham, Senior Master Chief retired, became a mentor. So you will pick up a mentor along your journey. And I've never even met either of these gentlemen face to face.
Oh, wow.
I've not met either of these gentlemen face to face yet. Now, Dr. Shippen or Dr. Cunningham and I, we have routine, Zoom calls or whatever, since, he has helped me publish the book and he's helping me with the whole speaking piece and all that. But I've never met either of these dudes. But they're African American senior leaders within the military who have transitioned out and are helping others do the same,
Yeah,
follow their passions.
that's amazing, man. So
Yeah.
let me ask you this: where do you see yourself? Uh, and you kind of touched on this a little bit already, I believe, but I just want to rehash it, just to paint the picture of framing and having a vision for one's self and your work. So where do you see yourself in your book in the next 2 to 5 years?
hmm Um, I want and it is to speak the dream into fruition. I would love to transition into some version of a nonprofit that is
Mm,
focused on a particular age group. Um, I want to be able to continue to pour into their leadership development. I want to continue to guide them. I want to be able to take more of a hands-on approach to the actual physical portion of their transition. So, resume writing, interview skills, all of those types of things, right? So, these programs exist, but I don't know that they exist in a fashion that is tailored to the new world.
mm,
We have Dress for Success that exists to help, individuals garner the necessary apparel to look the part. We've got resume writing workshops, but I don't think we have anything out there that is specifically tailored to the way the market is changing and helping individuals meet those new goalposts and overcome those new obstacles. It used to be a matter of if your resume is legit, you're good to go. No, that old phrase, your network is your net worth.
yeah,
It's becoming more and more true. So how are we helping them to build their network, right? I want to be able to try to do things that and functions where we bring together possible mentors and all these different types of organizations, and
mm,
we put them all in one location. And then I've got at a certain point, after I have instructed you on what it is that you need to do in order to be a good mentee, I'm now going to put you into a ballroom or a basketball game or some type of event where it's flooded with possible mentors.
yeah,
And now you've got to go out and do your thing, right? Because you're either going to sink or swim. And the ones who swim will go out and they'll talk, they'll mingle, they'll have conversations, and they'll identify those mentors, those natural relationships. Um, I want to, again, host small group settings where we are discussing the challenges that they're having and we're addressing all of their gaps one by one, whether it be a skill gap or if it's their positioning gap. Let's talk about your LinkedIn page. Let's talk about your resume. Let's talk about the people that you need to communicate to. Are you sending out these introduction emails via LinkedIn to people who might be in a position to be able to assist you? It's a whole lot of stuff I got going on in my head. I just got to figure out like what that looks like in a structured manner, right?
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. That's amazing. I'm here for it. I hope that you'll come back and you'll keep us
Oh,
updated
absolutely.
on your progress so that we could be a part of your journey as well. Uh,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
like I tell all of our guests, the Family Bloodline Network, we're just as invested in hearing what you're communicating as what you're putting action to and in as well. So we
Absolutely.
definitely want to make sure we keep up with you throughout your journey. So we are going to transition to the end of the the interview, unfortunately, because I think we could talk about this all day. I absolutely love the vision, the heart and the passion that you have for the future. I've said on other uh, platforms that I have, the consumerism that our culture has, and what it's been projected to over the next few years, and how much we're actually putting and investing back into our own community, and it's primarily lost. And the fear that I have with that loss, that degradation as we continue, is we will debase ourselves to a point to where we don't own anything, and we're
Mhm.
hurled back into nothing more than a position of servitude, and
Right.
not being able to not be able to administer things that we need to administer for
Mhm.
our section, our corner of the earth, right? And as Dr. Cornell West said, it's not a barrier against anyone, but in order to love the rest of the world, you have to figure out how to love
I
yourself.
love yourself.
Yeah,
Mhm.
filling up a cup and you allow that cup to spill over, and once that cup spills over, the contents of that cup will flood the table that it's on. But the only thing that comes out of a cup is what you put in it. And if you're not
Right.
putting the right things in it, the right things won't come out.
Yeah, I think our portion is we pour out what we have in our cup when in actuality you should be filling everyone else up with your excess. Like
Absolutely.
you should not have to pour out of your cup in order to fill up someone else's. You get the excess, which
Yeah.
means if you keep pouring into me, then I can keep giving it to you.
Yeah. It's absolutely reciprocal. And yeah, I agree. I am so happy that you took the time. I know you're busy. You got a lot of stuff coming up
Thank
here.
you so much for having me. Like this is amazing. This was
Absolutely.
absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you. So on my platforms, on the Family Bloodline Network, we've got a couple of different segments called the Pulse as well as the Legacy Table. We do something on each different segment
Mhm.
uh, called that gives your final thoughts. On the Pulse, it's called Around the Horn. On the Legacy Table, it's called Final Thoughts. And here on the Platinum Guest Series, I also call it Final Thoughts. And so, Final Thoughts is anything that you want to say about anything that you want to talk about. It doesn't necessarily have to be about what we talked about today. It could be, hey, I ate this for breakfast and it was great. I highly recommend you try this breakfast food, you know. So, your final thoughts.
um okay. My final thoughts, still in line with what we've been discussing, is a call to action.
Mm,
And it's not necessarily a call to action to our youth, it's a call to action to the millennials, Gen X, and so forth. They need us. We have been blessed in the fact that a number of us have established ourselves in very successful positions. And it is time to turn around and give back. If you are not mentoring someone within our community, you are doing our community and the next generation a disservice. So I am asking, this is a call to action to my generation, to our parents' generation, to go out and actively seek someone who is looking for guidance, right? Yes, a lot of the responsibility should fall on them to come and look for a mentor, but doesn't always happen that way. And some of our kids are very introverted and have not really
mm,
expressed them. They haven't gotten a hold of who they are yet, and they need a little bit of help. So that is my call to action to the other generations. Go out and help, seek out, give guidance, do all the things, right? Help them get that experience, pull them under your wing, and hey, get some free labor while you're at it. Internships are awesome. It's unpaid labor, but they get to reap the benefits of the actual experience. So that's my final thought.
amazing. Amazing. So as always, I absolutely again I appreciate your time and your patience. For everyone who's going to come across these videos, I ask that you share and have the person that you shared it with share to somebody else and continue that trend. Make sure for the YouTube, go to the YouTube, go to the Instagram, follow, like, and subscribe to these pages. The YouTube and Instagram are the same. It is at LDR Ship Enterprises. Make sure that the LDR, the S, and the E are capitalized on YouTube, and go forth and do great things with that. Interact, ask questions, pick brains,
Absolutely.
and again, assist where you can. So once again, thank you for hopping on. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Stick around with me for a moment, and we will see you all on the next round of the Platinum Guest Series.